don't want to be having to deal with sunburn, we're expecting that you guys have already done it before you drop them off. And then when we redo it, we use this stuff called Goop. It's very,
it's a mineral sunscreen. It's hypoallergenic, works great, and it seems very well tolerated.
Yeah. And then we're following all recommendations for cleaning during the day and at the end of the day. If you want to know specifically what we're doing, we're happy to have that conversation with you.
Just briefly on adjustment to school and separation, we are expecting that kids have been home for a while, many of them with you, and they haven't been out. And so we're expecting both preschoolers and older children to possibly have issues with separation. Just know that we have a lot of experience dealing with that. We have lots of strategies to help your child. We will stay in communication with you if you leave them and they're upset. And if it's an ongoing thing that's happening several days in a row, if you please let us know. Sometimes the child doesn't let us know, and they tell you after. So if you let us know, we can come up with some strategies. We have one family right now, they bring a book from home, they come and they sit outside our front door and read a book before she signs them in and sends them on his day. So that was kind of a way to help ease that transition for him, and seems to be working well. So just know that we are here to help you with that. And if you have any struggles, just let us know so that we can support you and your child. Cheryl, we have to pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, I saw that. So daily screening of children, we talked about this a little bit. So after you sign in, we're going to ask you some questions. We're going to ask the child how they're feeling, and some other question like, what did you have for breakfast? Did your dog sleep with you? Just kind of trying to get to make sure that the child is feeling okay. And then you will be asked, is everyone sleeping and eating normally at your house and feeling well? Or does anyone have any symptoms of illness? These questions will be asked every single day. If they're not being asked, then let us know, because every teacher should be asking these to you and your child every day. We're looking for fever, cough, shortness of breath, flu-like symptoms, muscle aches, headaches, blah, blah, blah. Everything. Any problem with you is a COVID symptom, and we need to talk to you about it. And then we take your child's temperature. It must be under 99.5, and the temperature will be recorded in Brightwheel. All staff follows the same thing. We take our temperature when we get there. They need to fill out a log saying that they have not been exposed, that they're feeling well, and they're ready to work.
Hey, Cheryl, I got a quick question. Yeah. What about when a child, say for example, Roland is asthmatic, he does cough, he does have shortness of breath. How do we go continuing on with his day as normal?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit, and we can talk to you later after this. We're not worried about kids with asthma, but we can have a conversation with you about it privately.
Okay.
And then, go ahead.
I was going to do the next slide. Did you have something else you wanted to add first?
No, but I was doing, we're on the same page.
Okay. So our regular health guidelines still apply, and the intent of these rules are to prevent exposing other children and staff to contagious illness. To be honest with you guys, one of our biggest fears is that our staff goes out. So we've put some things in place to have some backup plans, but there's schools that are talking about needing backup plans that are going 5 layers deep, and we're not there right now. We're going to work on extending that, but that is something that we need your help with to protect our staff. We're asking you to keep your child home, obviously, if they have any of those symptoms. Even if you think, it's because they had 10 popsicles last night before they went to bed, and you're thinking that that's why they threw up. If they threw up for any reason, they cannot come to school. So maybe you don't want to let them have 10 popsicles if that's going to cause a problem. But we're very serious about this right now. We're being very cautious, and the families that we've been working with over the summer have been super supportive and really great, which is super helpful. This says, this is our normal policy, so free and clear of symptoms without medication for a full 24 hours. The rule now is 72 hours. And there might be some exceptions. So there's some individual things like a child with asthma where we would take into consideration those kind of chronic illnesses that we know are not contagious. So we will be making some judgment calls about that kind of stuff, but just please have that conversation with us.
If your child complains of feeling sick while they're at school, even slightly, Janet and I are being informed and we come in to assess the situation. So let's say a child says, oh, I kind of have a stomach ache. The first thing we would do is make sure that they've eaten snack, or, you know, if it's ready for lunch, you know, we'll check and see how they're, if they can make, if they're hungry, and that solves the problem. Maybe they need to go to the bathroom. If it isn't the basic things that we can normally do to get a child to feel better, the child will be isolated within their pod onto a mat. We will ask them to put on a cloth mask or a disposable one. We have a few to offer up. And then you will be called and you need to come pick up your child. We're asking that all families can respond to us and get to the school within 30 minutes. And then we'll be in communication with you. So you take the child home to observe them for 24 hours. Then we talk the next day and see if anything's gotten worse, if anything's gotten better, and then we make a plan from there. If a staff member is to become ill, it's the same thing. They go, we're monitoring them. They either go to the doctor or they're staying home to see if their symptoms get worse or not. Obviously, COVID testing right now is not very quick, but if they are continuing to have symptoms and we question it, then staff is getting tested for COVID, and we're waiting kind of for the next step to either get a negative test, a positive test, whatever it is, and making that decision moving forward. We're super strict about it.
If a staff does go out, you will be notified as soon as we are notified that a staff member is out. You'll get one of two notifications. One, a staff member that has had direct contact with your child is out ill today. We'll give you further information. Or a staff member who is in our program but has not had direct contact with your child has whatever symptoms going forward. So if you get the one that is not your child, you know it's somebody from a different pod. And that's intentional to do it that way.
More on our sick policy. We've never talked so much about sickness before. I think we talked about all this. So
we did.
Okay. If you have any questions about our COVID policy and want to talk more about it, please let us know. We're happy to give you more specific details. But I can promise you we are as strict as we possibly can with all of this. So what to wear to school? We need you to wear comfortable clothes that you don't really care about getting dirty. Our preschoolers get very dirty every day. We do use washable paint. We try to, keep them. We don't expect that they're going to paint all over themselves, but kids do get dirty. We do a lot of shaving cream and sensory type play. So they're just, we get messy. And the sand and water is dirty. Our bark has mud at the bottom of it that they love to dig to. So it just happens. And we expect every child at all times to have a change of clothes in their cubby. So if that change of clothes is there and you come pick up your child and they have a bag of dirty clothes, then you know you need to bring a new change of clothes back. Most kids who have to change their clothes is not because they had an accident. They either spilled milk on themselves, they got dirty, they had a bloody nose and they have blood all over their shirt. Maybe they got a hole in it, maybe it's itchy, lots of different reasons. And it is so helpful to go into the cubby and find a change of clothes and say, just change into these. A little tip for you guys, if they don't like the clothes at home, they're not gonna like them when I pull them out of their cubby. So don't bring the least favorite outfit that you can't get them to wear at home, because they're gonna look at that and say, I don't like that, and not put it on. So pair of shorts and a t-shirt, extra pair of underwear is super helpful for us.
And then we also need you to bring a swimsuit and a towel for this this hot part of the season. We're still doing lots of water play, and we will change them into swimsuits in the afternoon before they go out to play in the water. So if you could bring, so your job is to bring, there's a list coming up, but change of clothes, swimsuit, and towel.
Look at that little picture of Ryan, Stephanie. That's him in the monkey class. Our school calendar is posted on our website under the Forms and Resources tab. We are not doing family dinners where we normally do a taco night and pancake for parents and things like that until Yolo County has released us for group gatherings. So right now, the calendar just shows the days that will be closed.
And that calendar is up on the website. We'll be sending you a link out on Brightwheel so that you'll have the copy of the calendar and know what holidays to expect. The way we celebrate birthdays, you don't need to bring anything. We will make sure your child feels special. We have the birthday banner up. They get to sit in the birthday chair. We sing them happy birthday. We play with Play-Doh in a different way, with turning them into little birthday cakes. Lots of fun play that happens around birthdays. They feel very celebrated, but we don't celebrate it with food. Like you're going to be doing that at home. That part of their celebration can happen at your house.
And we're strict. Don't bring me cupcakes because I'm going to send them home with you. Toys from home. So we've never enjoyed toys from home, but now we're super strict about it. So the only thing that comes into the school is your child and their change of clothes. We'll talk about kids who are doing distance learning and what that looks like, but your preschooler, unless they have something that they need to have a stuffy that stays in their cubby and stays at school, we can talk about that. But there's no special blanket that comes and goes. There's no special toy that comes and goes. It is a one-way ticket. Things that come into our school do not go back. So we're asking you not to bring anything in. The picture is because kids bring little Legos and then it gets mixed in with all of our Legos. And then they're like, where's my guy? And we have thousands of Legos to find it.
Tuition, billing, and late fees. So tuition is billed out. The way it's going to happen starting in August is you should get it on the 2nd. And then it's due by the 10th of the month. If you're after the 10th of the month, there's a $25 late fee. The other thing that's a little bit new and that we're being very strict about is that if you're more than 5 minutes late, as of Monday, we're charging $5 a minute. We are very serious about this because we have this really tight time frame. We've maxed out the staff members that we have at 8 hours. Your children are there 8 hours. Our staff is there at 8 hours. So we don't have time to be caring for children that are there past the time that we've scheduled you. So we need you to pick them up on time. So this is the only purpose for this. It makes us super uncomfortable. We don't like to do it, but the purpose is to discourage you from being late. We need you to pick your child up on time.
And the billing email used to be a Clubhouse email. The billing email now is office@winterstreehouse.com. That is not only our billing email, but also a way to get a hold of us. We will be closing down the Clubhouse Gmail account soon.
I have another question. It goes, it's regarding a couple slides back. The question is, if a child becomes sick within your child's pod, yes, you will also be notified of that. If we have children out sick, we will notify you. And that brings up another point. If your child is not coming that day, we need you to text us and let us know why and what's going on. Because we get worried and then we're trying to figure out how we notify the other families. So we need you to tell us, hey, we're staying home. We're just taking a family day. Nothing's going on. Or my child's home with a stomach ache. I'm going to watch them and I'll give you an update at the end of the day. So we need frequent communication if your child is ill, and then we can notify the other families.
So these are a couple of things specific to preschool. If you're in the preschool part of this, you're almost done. The full day preschool, do you want to talk about the schedule of the day, Janet?
I was just going to briefly say the schedule of the day for the full day preschool looks very much like the Clubhouse schedule did. So they're going to come in, they're going to have some outside time, they're going to do a circle, they're going to do an activity time that includes the pre-academic skills, some science, some art, some fine motor skills activities. Then they're going to be going out, having snack, heading outside for a longer period, coming back in for lunch. After lunch, they'll go right to rest. And then they'll have some more activities that happen in the afternoon. At this time of year, it'll be water play when they head out. And then we'll be coming back in for some calmer, quieter part of the last part of the day.
And then for the pre-K program, that program is going to be a primarily outdoor classroom. It is an outdoor classroom. Right now it is only running September through November, and then we need to see kind of what the next plan is with everything. The schedule of the day is that they will be coming and having some free choice time. There's 2 different pods, my pod and Jillian's pod. We'll be dividing the yard. And we have circle time, activity time, art, story time. All the kind of regular preschool things will be hit. We're just going to be outside. And then again, we have a book of the week that we build our curriculum around. All preschoolers need to bring a change of clothes. If you're in full day preschool, you need a swimsuit. And then everybody needs a water bottle with their name on it.
And then this year, most of the kids in the full day preschool program are the same age as pre-K program. So they're going to be doing the same curriculum. They'll just be offset by a couple weeks. So you'll see the same stuff happening there. I have 2 questions I want to address. One question was, a preschooler was asking if it's okay to bring up their clothes in a backpack that goes back and forth. And the answer is no, we do not want backpacks. We don't want anything that's going back and forth. So the clothes come in, they go in the cubby, they stay there until we need them. So we do not want anything going back and forth as much as we can prevent it. There might be some exceptions with Chromebooks for the kids in distance learning, but as far as preschool, there shouldn't be anything going back and forth. So please do not do the backpacks this year. And then another question, curiosity question about what's going in at the clubhouse. We've rented it to Robin Benson. She runs a family home daycare. So it's a great setup for her, and her daughter will be living here, and then they will be running their family home daycare out of this building. So it's a great fit.
We talked a little bit about this. This is what our preschool day looks like, the free choice, the circle time, activity time, snack, story, outside play. Those are all the basic things that happen within our program, with a lot of learning and invitations and problem solving kind of all along the way.
And joy and fun.
Yeah. I just love looking at these old pictures. It's so fun. So now we have a time for questions, and we can let people who are doing full-time preschool or the pre-K program go. And then we've got just a tiny little bit more for distance learning and school-age kids. So are there any questions?
There was one question in the chat that asks about the water bottle. We are asking all preschoolers to bring a water bottle. We've provided them in the past, but the problem is they all look alike. So the kids touch them all trying to find their own. So if you bring them, then we have much greater variety. We're able to keep them further apart from one another. The kids know where their bottle is and just use their water bottle. So it's to help with to decrease the sharing of germs. So we're asking you to bring either a sippy cup or a water bottle, something like that for your child.
And anyone who's been with us through the summer, we already have your water bottle. You don't need to bring one.
It looks like that's all the questions.
Okay, if you are preschool, you are free to go. And we are super excited to see you guys on Monday. If for some reason we don't know your plan for, like if you're not starting on Monday and you haven't let us know, just let us know that. Otherwise, you will be seeing Jan and I. We will be helping you guys check in and get everything going.
One more quick question. So there was a question if they need swimsuits for the pre-K monkey class.
No.
Okay. So Cheryl, at this point, I think we should talk about what the day looks like right now for all of the school age kids, and then we can release Pod A. But we were going to talk about the project learning. We put that off till later. So we'll do that now, and then we can release that group, and then we'll just be talking distance learning after that.
Okay. So so tonight the board is voting to see what the first day of school is, and it looks like it'll probably be August 26th. So there will be some time that all the programs will be working together before they have to do their distance learning. And what Janet and I are super excited about is our project-based learning. So the first 2 weeks, what we're going to do is the school is going to create a circus. So all pods are going to be working together, to create the circus in that pod's kind of own way. And so there's different areas that we're hoping to touch on, where we're looking to have writing and have art and have math and have science kind of all built into the project-based learning. So if you take the circus idea, they're going to be making programs, and they're going to be writing the program and designing the cover. They're going to be talking about what acts they want to do and practicing those acts. We're going to be looking at the clock and deciding, you know, what time all of the acts are going to happen and how much time you need in between each performance. We're going to be looking at the calendar to see how many days it is until then. We're going to create a Treehouse currency so that people can pay for the different things to buy the snacks or buy, you know, a front row seat or however they want to spend their currency. So that's the type of curriculum that Janet and I are excited to build. If you are in the pod A and you're not going to be part of the distance learning, that is going to be your type of learning all year long. So we're either going to be doing it, and every project base will be at least 2 weeks so the kids can get really involved. And if they're still involved in it and they haven't finished it, then we'll continue it until they are. And our hope is that anything that a child does receives positive marks from us. So if a child writes, you know, a story about the performance that they want to do and they don't use any capital letters or periods, we say, that is so great. I'm really glad to see your work. And then the next time they do it, you give them a goal. Hey, this time when you write those sentences, I need you to work on finding capital letters at the beginning of all of your sentences. So we're just supporting them where they are and then giving them suggestions moving forward. So does that kind of hit on what you were thinking?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. So that's going to be Pod A's curriculum going all the way through. And we've also talked to first grade teachers, so we know what they are looking for when the kids are going into first grade, and we also know what they expect when they're leaving first grade. So anyone who's not part of the Wagner system, we are very clear on
Our targets.
Yeah. Any questions about that? Nope.
Nope, no questions that I can see in the chat. So that means if your child is in Pod A, then you can be done. And now we're just going to talk to the two groups, Pod B and Pod C. Those are the ones doing distance learning with Joint Unified. Can you move the slide?
Yeah.
So
okay. Oh, go ahead.
Distance learning. So here's what, how we envision it. We know there's going to be a lot of information that's going to come down that we don't yet have, and there's going to be a lot of adjustments, but we have to be able to plan. And so we are making our best guess of what we know right now and making our plan, and then just knowing that we're going to be adjusting things down the road. So all 3 school age pods come in at 8:15. We chose that time purposefully because that's when school would be starting, is 8:15 this year. So when they do pivot or there is some in-person learning that happens, we don't have to make major changes to the schedule. The children will still be starting at 8:15. They'll just be starting at school instead of with us. The way that the draft schedules all look for every grade, children need to be on either at 8:15 or 8:20 to check in with their class for the day. So your child needs to be, our goal is going to be to have them on at 8:20. You're arriving at 8:15. They're going to be getting on their Chromebooks right away at 8:20. Their mid-morning, we have it scheduled. Each pod has a 30-minute morning break for some kind of time outside and snack. We're guessing that this is going to be a great time to go for a scooter ride. So we're asking you to bring scooters and helmets because they can have snack, and then they can go for a 20-minute scooter ride and get outside and breathe some fresh air and freshen their brains and be ready to do the next segment of their day. The Zoom schedule continues until 2:30-ish for all of the grades, but we are going to be ending the Zoom part at 12:15, except for a few exceptions. Our intent is, looking at the draft schedule, most of those things that are happening after lunch will be our STEAM related, social studies related, and science related. For us, we feel like we can do a much better job of those things in person, live at our site, as opposed to doing them on a screen. So we're hoping to be able to work with the teachers to get the information about what they're doing, and then we're going to bring those concepts and do them live at our site. If you're getting feedback from a teacher that there's assignments missing or that there's issues with that, please let us know. We plan on working with the teachers and working with you to figure that out. This is just the plan for where we're starting from right now. We're also hoping that there's a period of time after lunch before 2:30 where we're doing some project-based curriculum like we had talked about doing all day right now in August. So we're going to be using those science concepts and doing some kind of project around those, or the social studies concept that your child's supposed to be working on. We're going to be doing some project around that. We also have plans that all the children in distance learning will be doing some kind of book report. That'll be an ongoing project. It'll be a book that they choose. It's at their level. And there will be support for them figuring out how to write a little summary about it and do some kind of project around that. So that's going to be something that's ongoing throughout the time that they're with us. So if they finish a Zoom session early, or they finish a task early or whatever, that'll be one of the choices that they have, is to be working on their free reading book and their book report that goes with that. And then there's an afternoon snack around 2:30, and then after that is like our regular enrichment program. At around 4 o'clock, the children will clean up and come on inside, and then we'll be playing some kind of game like we used to be playing at that time when you would come pick up. So playing Simon Says, or playing the log game, one of their favorites, talking about the end of the day, getting excited about what's going to be happening tomorrow. So they should be all gathered together and ready for you to pick them up right at 4:15. There's a question about Pod A, if she's still on. Pod A is all kinder. So that was the question. And then there's another question at different grade levels, the different schedules. Wait. So the question is regarding if we have multiple different teachers at the same grade level, how is that going to work? We're really hoping we can work with the school district. They're not ready to talk to us. We keep reaching out. They're in crisis mode, I think, trying to figure out how they're doing this. And so we're hoping that they will be willing to work with us and put at least some of the children together. So maybe we're dealing with 2 to 3 teachers, but we have plans for how we're going to accommodate those different schedules. And we kind of have to just get into it to see what it looks like and how that's working, and then make the adjustments to figure it out. We're confident that we're going to be able to do it with a little bit of flexibility on everybody's part. We are going to need your help as parents to help us gather the information. So we will be sending you a shared Google document that you'll be filling out that helps us figure out like when their small group time is, what their password is to get in, all of the different little pieces that the teachers are going to be communicating with you as parents. That's going to be the place where you get to report that to us so that we're set up for success the following day.
And this is, this is all new for you, and it's all new for us. So we are going to be patient with the whole process, and we just need everyone to take a breath while we get everybody figured out. It is not going to be perfect the first week. I can promise you that. So open communication is going to be key. And then, we just have to figure it out. It looks very good on paper. But what we know is that a schedule on paper doesn't always match the live presentation. So just bear with us would be.
And communicate what the school's telling you. Like, we don't have a child in your child's class, so you are that communication link for us. There was also another question about, is the district providing hotspots? So there is talk of them providing hotspots. And we it is on the to-do list to be calling WAVE and seeing if we can get more, upgrade our service. And then also to be talking with the district to see if we can get some hotspots to be able to have adequate internet for everybody to be on Zoom at the same time. Right now, it's about 12 children that'll be on Zoom at the same time. Since there's one whole pod that is not doing that, it's 2 pods that are, and there's a couple spaces in those pods, so I think we're going to be just fine. But we will be working with that so that we can make sure, and the backup plan is all the teachers have hotspots on their phone. So if we have to do that for a couple days till we get it, we have phones to be able to help support that.
So what your child needs for school, they need to have a charged Chromebook. If you're taking your Chromebook home, then we need to make sure that that Chromebook is coming back. The district will be working with you. You'll be picking up your Chromebooks at some point if you turned them in over the summer. Some classes, grades kept them, I don't know at what point, but that will be something that's happening, and the teachers will be talking to you about, like, it's the first grade's day to come get your Chromebooks and you get all of that. If you don't have to take your Chromebook home because you don't see a need for it, then that Chromebook will be charged at school and ready for your child the next day. That's our preference. If you're finding that your child needs to be doing work at home for whatever reason, then let's have a conversation and we'll figure out a way to get your Chromebook to and from, and then cleaning it in the process before it comes back into our program. Children, one thing that's not on here is every child needs a set of headphones. They have to have a set of headphones to get on their Chromebook. We can't have 7 kids in a class all with competing noise. So headphones that your child is willing to wear is super important. And then if you're buying the really cheap ones, just know that you're probably gonna have to buy more because they're gonna break. I don't have a problem with them. Just know that when they stop working, we'll need a backup. And then we're asking for a pencil box, like the rectangle hard plastic pencil boxes. We need a small box of pencils in there, a box of crayons, a box of thin markers, like just the 10-pack or 8-pack, a pair of scissors, and 2 glue sticks. We will keep that. That will have their names on it. That will be at their workstation so that they have everything that they need. Like we said, a water bottle with your child's name on it, and a scooter and a helmet. Like we said before, we're asking for no backpacks. We don't want things to come and go. And then we talked again about the Chromebook, and if it needs to go home, we'll talk about how to get it back cleanly. As things come up that maybe, if your teacher gives your child a school list of things that they need, then that would be added to the things that we expect you to bring as well. But we think that this pretty much covers the basics for everybody. Janet and my favorite word for the pandemic is pivot. And we've gotten really good at it. And what we've learned is that you can't look into the future because it's not going to be what you thought. So we are ready to pivot as the school district makes changes. Our suspicion is that we will be district learning through the end of 2020. We think that it would be very unlikely that the school district would say, come November, they make that change. So they could, and we will pivot at that point, but we suspect that it will go through the end of winter break. So you can rest assured that if you are on the Zoom call and you have enrolled your child right now, you will have a spot as things move forward. You are guaranteed a spot with us. They could throw some wild plan out there that we can't anticipate, so we might have to make changes, but if what we think they're gonna do is either distance learning, hybrid, or back all the way, we've got you covered. We can't imagine any other plan that isn't one of those, but it's a pandemic. Who knows? And then
on those, just a note on those supplies. So those supplies we need for when they start distance learning. Prior to that, when we're doing project-based learning, we're good. So you don't have to have them on Monday. That's for when we start the distance learning. Your child needs your Chromebook then, the headphones then, that pencil box full of supplies then. So you have time to get that.
And then we have a lot of connections through Winners Joint Unified and tend to know the plan a little bit of a heads up before they're getting ready to vote on it. So we will keep our ears open. We will keep our communication open with them, with our relationships there. And as we learn anything, we will share it with you guys. I know tonight they're voting on the first day of school. We anticipate that it'll be the 26th, but we'll let everybody know once we get those notes and know what the plan is. Does anyone have any questions moving forward? I will say that Janet and I are super excited about this project-based learning. We're excited to be able to support children in a different way as they move through the distance learning. And we really, our number one goal is to fill these children with a lot of love and support, and so that at the end of the day, they feel like they were successful in their day and that they're smart and capable children. And we are going to be hammering that home all year long. And we are super excited to be able to offer that to these children.
All right, last chance for questions. Sorry we kept you a little bit late. It was a lot of information. Thank you for your patience and hanging in there with us.
Dr. Hexada?
I have a question, Janet and Cheryl. I understand that as all the families are, we're trying to help each other out. Is there anything we as parents and as a family can help you guys out in terms of donating wipes, Clorox wipes, hand sanitizer, masks, face shields, anything that we can help?
We are very well stocked. There's a program in the county that is helping support all child care centers that's been very supportive. We have a great resource for masks. So we're feeling really confident that we have what we need, though. Thank you for offering. And if something does come up, we'll be sure and pass that information on to you guys.
We jokingly said as we were making the list of things you need, we were going to say like a box of like face tissue, goldfish, you know, like the typical, you know, public school wish list. But we feel good. We feel like we're in a good spot, but definitely we will reach out if we need anything.
All right, thank you guys so much for coming. We appreciate your time. You know you have lots of ways to get a hold of us if you have additional questions, so please do that. We're here for you. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Should I end the meeting?
I think you should, yeah.